Hello and welcome to road.cc. Now, a little bit of bonus content from the Shimano media trip that we've been on. I'm joined by Jos from Pro. Jos, you've got some new things. Should we start up here at the saddle? What's new up here?
Well, up there we have the new Pro Stealth saddle. Stealth saddle has been around for a few years now. It's been one of the instigators of the short and wide saddle trend, and this is the second generation new Stealth saddle.
Awesome. So it was quite a popular saddle when you launched it. Obviously you don't want to change too much because it was, already a good saddle. What's changed with this new one?
Well, of course, the fit, we kept that one as we knew a lot of people liked it. But we made some changes, especially on the design, because the design changes, there's more hard surfaces and lines, and we applied that design to the new saddle. So there are some small changes again to improve on it. I can show you a few.
Yeah, sure.
That is, for example, the large anatomic fit hole. We now have the triple bridge design, and that design offers less pressure points, but the benefit of a strong support. So you will have proper support and a comfortable saddle.
Okay, so not a huge number of changes, but enough. And then in your back pocket, I know you've got a trick up your sleeve, really. You've got a new curved version of this saddle.
Yeah.
So
right.
what was the thinking behind this, going for a more curved shape?
Well, since we did so well with the Stealth saddle, we also got quite a lot of feedback on it, and a lot of the feedback was really good, but there were also some improvement points to make. So we found that, for example, the width of the nose, the flatness of the saddle was maybe not for everyone, and we found that with riders who used to move a lot from left to right. And for those riders, we have now the Stealth curved saddle. And what this saddle does, it has a slightly narrower nose, a more tail-up design, and more curved sides. And that allows a rider to move side to side more while still retaining enough support.
So they absolutely got me a good one on this trip. They put that saddle on the bike that I've been riding, and you didn't tell me about it. So you came up to me while we were doing a group ride and said, "Oh, what saddle you got on there?" And I'm going, "Oh, I don't know." And I'm trying to look down under my legs. I think the biggest compliment for the saddle from me personally is that I didn't even notice it. So obviously it works for one person, so you've won there. The thing that I like about a curved saddle usually is that when I get down low at the front, there's a little bit more support to keep me in that position from the tail rising at the back. Is that something that you wanted to build in with this saddle?
Well, yeah, that was one of the focus points. Stealth also being made for that aggressive riding style, so maybe a deeper drop, going fast. That's what the short and wide saddle design is for, and as I just mentioned, Stealth Curve is built on that, but improved for a certain riding style.
Yeah, so we were also talking about density of padding, and it must be a very fine balance between making a saddle dense enough that it will withstand the test of time and not appear too soft, but you don't want to go too hard with it.
That's true. First and foremost, the saddle needs to support you in the right way. So you can make a really soft saddle that might feel comfortable by pushing on it, but it should support your body. That's the first thing. And then secondly, we try to work with the density padding, the thickness of it, and to find the right balance between that support and optimum comfort.
So what rails are we running on with this saddle?
Well, we have two different options. We have the performance version, which has the inox rail, which I have in my hand here. And we also have the team version with a carbon rail, for example, the one on the bike here.
So, and base, the actual base to the saddle, is there a difference between the two models?
Between those two models, the base is the same. It's a carbon reinforced nylon base.
So, moving from the back of the bike now to the front of the bike, there's something very, very cool here. This has loads of features. You've got a new integrated handlebar.
Yeah, we do. That's one of the things we are really proudly presenting here, we have the new Vibe Evo handlebar. It's an integrated cockpit. It's not just a handlebar, also comes in a one-piece design with the stem, full carbon construction, and has a lot of integration features.
So integration is one of the key things now in road bike tech. Loads of brands are finding little bits of aero savings from hiding away the cables. Your lovely Madison Genesis team issue bike here doesn't have the integrated front end with the cable system, but this handlebar can work with bikes that send the cables down the head tube, correct?
Yeah, it's quite a versatile system. So we have it here set up with a more traditional routing option. So the cables here come out near the stem body, but we also have the option to route cables underneath the stem. So here the Di2 cable comes out, but for a lot of the integrated bikes, cables running internally through the headset, that also allows you to keep that clean integrated look. And even a third position, and that's now hidden behind the top cap, cables can enter the steer tube.
Oh, cool. So there's so many features to get through with this bar. One of the most noticeable will be this kind of weird kind of grip tape. What are you calling this?
Well, we call that the top grip.
Yep.
That's a special part of the integration aspect here. We wanted to make the handlebar also ergonomic and aerodynamic, and we also know that wrapping it fully with handlebar tape destroys the aerodynamics basically of a handlebar. So what we try to do here is integrate a grip into the handlebar, so you still get the smooth aerodynamic profile, have the grip that you need to not slip off your bars, and that brings us to the new Vibe Evo cockpit.
Yeah, awesome. And another noticeable thing, there's this kind of shorn off edge. That's very pronounced. What's that all about?
Yeah, it looks like a really sharp edge, but it actually helps. It gives you some extra clearance when you are, for example, sprinting in the drops, so less chance of your elbows getting in touch with the handlebar. But we shaped it in such a way that it actually allows you to hold your handlebar in a different way. So we call that the corner grip. And yeah, you get an extra hand position, so for more comfortable riding when making those long hours on the bike.
Awesome. So a thing that is hidden on Jos's bike here, it comes under the hood. This kind of grip thing moves into the shifter body, doesn't it?
Yeah, the grip runs all the way to the shifter body, but also the carbon underneath is slightly stepped, so it's shaped in such a way that it actually works with the shifter. So you get a really smooth transition coming from the handlebar onto the shifter.
So it's much flatter, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and it improves the ergonomics.
Awesome. And you'll be able to see at home that Jos has his bars kind of half wrapped. Are you just using like one roll of tape for this?
Well, since we have the top grip here, tape only needs to go until the shifter part, so you only need half a roll per side, so one roll in total. Awesome. And in the end, that will save you some money.
Okay, so one thing that I noticed when you were showing just the bar off the bike with no shifters on it or anything, where this carbon kind of goes towards the shifter body, it's quite a big gap. What's that all about?
Well, that gives you the entry for your cables. Obviously you have cables running from your shifters to your frame, and the whole shaping around here also accommodates those cables. So here it's set up for disc brake and Di2, but you can also route mechanical shifting and braking cables, so it's quite an all-round and versatile system.
Yeah, so you can kind of treat this bar as an upgrade to pretty much any bike?
Yeah, if you have a round steerer tube, then yeah, this handlebar can fit it, and even in two different diameters.
Okay.
This one has a regular sized steerer tube, but some other brands might use an oversized steerer tube.
So we're talking Giant and Canyon there?
For example, yeah. But it will fit both. We use special shims. Without the shim, it fits the oversized steerer tube, and with those shims, it can fit on a bike like this.
Okay, and there was something you were talking about was angled shims as well. So can you go lower?
Yeah, So it obviously comes with a straight shim, but as you say, the angled shim allows you to either lower or heighten, well, basically it adjusts the angle of the stem by 2 or plus or minus degrees.
Cool, so if you really want to get nice and low, you can do so.
Yeah, and for example, different bikes have different head tube angles, so you might want to compensate for that, and also different positioning on the bike, yeah.
Now, the final thing to mention is that you've got a brand new computer mount out there. Can you tell us all about that?
Again, part of the integration, we know that a lot of people use bike computers nowadays, and they come in a lot of different sizes, different shapes. So we have the new Vibe Evo computer mount to match with the Vibe Evo handlebar. It offers quite a lot of adjustability, 34 millimeters fore aft, so bigger computers will also fit. But it also has a 15-degree angle adjustability, either up or down, so you can adjust the viewing position for optimal viewing of your bike computer.
Okay, so and were you saying that the bolt spacing was the same as your accessories on the saddle?
Exactly. On all of our Pro saddles, we have the option to mount accessories like a GoPro mount, a camera mount, or even saddlebags. And we use the same spacing and bolt sizing on the Vibe Evo handlebar. So as you can see here, it's possible to mount a camera mount underneath your handlebar, because we also know that some people like to well, create some content.
Yeah, who would that be aimed at? All I need to say is a massive thank you to Jos for taking us through the new Pro Evo, real standout products. We look forward to getting them in for a proper test, because unfortunately my bike came without the fancy new handlebar. If you like this video, then remember to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, as that really does help us out, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.